Hey guys, my name is Alexander Mendoza. I'm a culinary student here at Nicholas State University in the culinary program of John Falls. Today I'm going to be showing you how to sharpen a knife, one of the most basic skills that you're going to need. So first off, let's familiarize ourselves with the equipment. You have here a whetstone. There's a medium side for basic sharpening and maintenance, a coarse side for impurities in the blade that you might want to fix, and you also have a fine side. This is what's going to polish your blade down and give you that sharp edge. From there, you'll go to your stropping pad. You go against this only on the surface because it's leather underneath. You don't want to cut the leather. And this will hone the edge of your blade in order for a finer cut. We use this little wax bar and we go along there. I've already pre-waxed this, so we're all good. But you use this wax on here and it does things pretty well for sharpening. Next up, you go to your honing rod. This is going to get your tiniest impurities down. This is how you're going to be able to sharpen things to cut through bone. So it's very, very dangerous, but very, very good. Sharp blade is always safer than a dull blade. The more control you have over it, the better. So we are going to start off by soaking our whetstone. Just fully submerge it in the water. And you're just going to want to wait a little bit. While I wait a little bit, let me just tell you why this should be important to you. So, on average, knives can be cheap. But if you want a good knife that will last you so you don't have to constantly keep replacing it or things keep happening to it in a kitchen when you're on your own and you're just living life, investing in an expensive knife is scary to some people because they don't know how to properly maintain it. This is an essential part of maintaining your knife. So if you maintain your knife, you maintain its quality and its value as well as its lifespan, which is critical if you want to keep a knife for a long time that'll do the right thing that you want it to do. Next thing you know, you might end up collecting them like I did. All right, so we are going to go ahead and take this whetstone out of the water now. Usually I'd like to let it sit for a little bit longer, but for our purpose, it's going to do us just well. All right. Next up, you're gonna want to get your knife. You're gonna want to go at an angled motion through to the blade. You see, my whetstone's kind of sort of messed up right here. It has a pin missing, so I'm gonna go this way. There we go. You're just gonna go and strike it, and put your way through. So, knife skills are also really important when cutting. A lot of people think that, you just use a knife like you do a butter knife. No, it's not the case. You have to have proper knife skills whenever you're doing this too in order to keep yourself safe. So fingers away from the edge. You can see right above the edge line, I'm putting my fingers above it. So you're going to want to go that same fluid motion just all the way through the blade. And if you want to do like little sections to keep yourself comfortable and then come back for the others, it's completely acceptable. Sometimes you may need to re-wet your whetstone a little bit. It's completely fine. Okay. Next, you're going to want to put a little bit of water on your blade because it's kind of dirty right now. It has some residual. So we're going to move over to our fine whetstone. After this, I'm going to move over to our to our coarse, so I can show you just what that looks like. But here's our fine whetstone, which would be the next process if your blade isn't completely messed up. Just going to take a couple strokes along that edge, just like you did with the first one. Going to move it over, do it again. And you'll start to see this water get a little bit dirty or residual start piling up on the stone a little bit. That's good. That's what you want. It means that the edge is coming off and sharpening itself and getting thinner. That's what we want to see. Okay. From there, let's move over to this coarse so I can show you what it can do. So the coarse side is what you want to use for any impurities or damages or blemishes in the blade. I don't have any on this knife, but it's never a good idea to not hit the coarse side of the stone just to get that extra profound sharpness. And go at it with some passing strikes. Over and over. Usually you'd spend a lot more time sharpening a blade of this caliber. I'm doing a basic maintenance sharpen, so less strikes, more focusing on the technique of it. And that's what you'd want to do for most of your blades if you keep them in the proper conditions. Okay. Now if you see, I've got buildup on my hands. This will be a lot more whenever you sharpen on your own, but that's because you're trying to remove an impurity, right? So don't worry if it gets a little bit crazy. Okay, so we're gonna wash off the edge of our knife, and we are now done with the whetstone. So I'm gonna dry off the blade a little bit because it will have an adverse reaction with our wax. Then we're gonna move on to the stropping pad. Cuts away from you. Once you get good, you can do them towards you while keeping them in the air. I've gotten to that level, but for now, we're gonna go cuts against us on the flat surface. And like I said, what this is doing right here is getting our edge a better polish and a better honing. I know you can't see it, but trust me, it's there. It's really, really useful with all sorts of knives, bushcraft knives, pocket knives, and these kitchen knives. So it's really something you want to have. So you can actually kind of see right there a buildup on the blade over here as well. That's it getting nice and honed and sharpened. So we're going to go back into our water a little bit. I'm just going to use my sleeve because it's useful for me as a chef, and just wipe off that blade. All right, next is our final honing. So you're going to come at it with this honing rod. Now this you're going to want to spend a lot more time on because it's really something that you're going to be using a lot. You have anglers for some honing rods, which is really useful. But we're just going to be using this honing rod in the air like this. All right. Now, it's at this point that you want to assess your edge. You're going to look down it like this. You're going to close an eye, almost like you're looking down the sight. And you're just going to see straight down here. And you're going to want to be looking for burr. Now, what burr is rolls of metal. These rolls of metal can be pretty dangerous, and they can also be impurities in your food. So that means that, you have shards of metal in your food. Someone's going to get hurt. It's not going to be fun. So what you want to do at that point is you want to go back over the knife just once more with the coarse side. This is what I do. It gets all that burr off. Passing through. And go once again. Once again, you can see a buildup of material there. Like I said, that's what you want to see. Okay. See, once you hear that, your stone's getting a little bit dry. So you want to hydrate it a little bit. Very important, that hydration. If you use this without hydration, you'll damage your blade and mess it up beyond repair. Right, now you want to look down it again. Make sure there's no burr. Make sure there's no shavings, no rolls. Back into the water we go. Just clean off all of that material. Again, these are extra steps that I'm doing, but they are how you properly should sharpen your knives for longevity, life, and for proper practice. I'm going to go up that stropping pad again. Just being very careful of your angle and your blade, controlling it, making sure you don't lose it. Okay. Now you're going to want to come back to your honing rod, just like before. See? Got little shards right there of metal. Don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you got little shards right there. I think I see one right there on camera. And that, guys, is how you sharpen your knife, get a clean edge every single time, proper maintenance. Like I said, coarse side should be used for impurities in the blade, but besides that, everything you saw here, repeat it, learn it, do the best you can with it, and have fun with your knives.